All right. So, hey guys, this is the first time that we do this. I have with me Mike Dasher. He's a great friend of mine. Mike used to be actually my art director. We used to work together. How long was that? Like 3 years ago?
Yeah, three or four. Was that 2016, I think?
I
Yeah.
can't even remember when I left. Anyways, but we're still good friends. Mike is one of my favorite musicians.
Oh, thanks.
We played some music together at some point. Started like this company band. It was kind of a fun project.
Yeah.
But Mike now has his some stuff that he's working on himself. He released an album, before, and now he's just. I guess you're going full force on it. You released the track yesterday.
Yeah, I have two release tracks from the album, and then on the 25th of February, the full album will be released. So yeah.
Nice.
More,
So, how many tracks is? I didn't know there was a full album.
yeah, there's a full album coming out
Nice.
on the 25th. It's really just a bunch of COVID songs. not about COVID, but just like trapped in the house for
Vaccine and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's really just songs like I would every weekend just kind of come up to my home recording area and just throw a bass line down and build on that. And but by the end of the weekend, I'd have a song and a collection of those. So yeah, that's coming out on the 25th.
So, like, we probably expect like the same type of sound, little upbeat.
Yeah, there's like some post punk upbeat ones on there, and then there's yeah, like some new wave sounds in there. I don't know. They're like a lot of kind of similar but different tunes.
Awesome. All right, let's get into it. So, yeah, Mike, I want you to tell me about the new song that you just released. Maybe we'll play it. We'll play some of this song right here.
What you hear, what you feel, what you see. I'll be there for you when sleight of hand orchestrates, stipulates what you feel. It's all a boring, and when the line crosses you, run to me. I'll be there. I'll be there for you, 'cause candlelight in the dark, shining bright, comforts you. It's burning for you, 'cause just like moths drawn to the flame, there's nothing for you there. Inculcate in every ways. I'll be there for you when lucid thoughts fall into haze. I'll shine before you when light gives way to dark domain. Commandeered, justly thoughts pulled in fear, calling you. It's calling for you, and sleight of hand orchestrates, stipulates what you feel. It's all a boring, and when the line crosses you, run to me. I'll be there. I'll be there for you, 'cause candlelight in the dark, shining bright, must be truth.
hear more from you about this song. Like, what were you thinking about? Like, you know, what was your goal? And like, how did you think about this song? Like, did you start with like your lyrics, or did you have like kind of like a message to send, or just you just wanted to play music? You just started with something and just went with it.
Yeah, it was the latter. I just wanted to play music. I put a beat together and then I started doing a bass line, and I came up with this bass line that I really liked and a
Yeah.
melody to go over it, and just started building guitars around it. And then, you know, to that melody, I was like, okay, I need to write lyrics. And the topic that came to my mind is that I'm about to have a baby girl. And so the lyrics are kind of,
Anyway,
what's that? Oh, thank you. And so the lyrics, it's my first child. So I was just thinking, like, you know, all the craziness that goes on in the world sometimes, like how can I let her know that I'll be there for her, you know? And so that's basically what the lyrics are about. They're very kind of vague, but that was where I was coming from with them. So
that's awesome. Now that you said that, I actually can. The lyrics make like a lot more, you know.
yeah. Yeah, there's some context
I
to
mean,
it.
I love it. I love this song. I always expect something, you know, really good music from you, but
Yeah.
yeah, the lyrics were great. So for people who don't know, um, Mike, you played all the instruments, right?
Yeah, I play all the instruments, do the mixing and
How do you
production.
do it? Like, you just like record every single thing? Like, do you have like a metronome or something?
Every song is
How do
kind
you
of
go by
different.
it?
Like this album was a lot of you know, creating a beat, not really knowing where that's going to take me, just knowing that there's a certain structure to a song where
Yeah.
you kind of have a chorus and a verse and they're like 4 or 8 bars, whatever. Just kind of like knowing that and playing drums or building a beat, and then not, just playing that beat and starting to play bass lines and seeing if there's something that comes out of it. And then once I have that and I come up with a melody to go over it, it's kind of easy. It's like at that point, it's just like grabbing the guitar and trying to come up with like something to play on the right side, something to play on the left side, and just kind of building it from there. And it kind of turns into its own thing. I don't know what to expect out of it when I start it, but I'll know if it worked or if it didn't. And then if it didn't work, I'll just throw it in like a sandbox pile and, you know,
Yeah,
go with the ones that do work. But yeah,
that's awesome.
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was awesome. Um, so you basically like, do you always start with the beat or the drums, or
Not
the
always. Like I did an album under the moniker of Smart Objects years ago.
Oh yeah, I
And
love that.
oh, thank you. Yeah, and that was mostly like me picking up an acoustic guitar and coming up with songs and then going that way, which I think a lot of songwriters do it that way. Like they
Yeah.
have an instrument that's like a piano or a guitar, and they'll write their songs that way. And there's something to that. Like you come up with I think you come with a different kind of song when you do it that way. But this time it was more like creating a beat, getting a bass line, and building off of that. And I thought I came up with some kind of interesting stuff, doing it a different approach. I think, you know, I might try a different approach even again on the next stuff, but that's what it was with this album. So
Really, there's a ton of talent that's not being shown and that's not getting the support that they deserve. Um, what would you say to these people? Like, knowing that you create your own music, you publish it yourself, you know, it's out there, it's on, you know, Google and, you know, all these platforms, and Apple, and
yeah, you know, it's like that. I think everywhere, you know, the big record labels or radio will play and say, you know, kind of set the agenda for what's supposed to be popular or what have you. But that's what I love about indie artists and indie music is that there's no record label telling you that you need to get with the times or what they're seeing in their data is like making, you know, lots of money. You get to have full reign on what you want to put out there. And sometimes it's a little it can be a little, I don't know, scary to say like, this is me, I'm putting it out there, or it can feel like you're being too promotional. Like, I'm an artist, I don't want to be promotional.
right.
But it is a big component. people would love your music, you know, if they knew it was out there. But there's so much music out there now. It's so easy to put it out there, and you kind of do. You have to be comfortable with saying like, okay, I'm going to promote myself, and it's okay to promote myself, and my music's good, and I'm going to find an audience, because you will find an audience. Like there will be somebody out there that likes it. So I just, you know, like it took me a while to finally say to myself, like, somebody's going to like this, and I'm creating this. It doesn't make sense for me to just like walk around listening to it on my headphones, put it out there and see if somebody likes it, you know?
Yeah.
And, but part of that is also, you know, you have to promote it, and you kind of have to put some energy into letting people know it's out there so that they can listen and decide that they like it. And I don't know, I've started to do that more, and I think be more comfortable with that. And it's been fun, really. Like if you're creative, you come up with creative ways to put yourself out there, and it becomes part of, you know, the artistry of it too. So, you know, it's not going to happen immediately, but if you keep putting music out there, it will happen, I think.
Are you like kind of like sticking to one style, or would you? Because I know that you're a huge punk rock fan, and
Yeah.
I know that when we used to play, at least we used to have a ton of fun, just jamming, just kind of going crazy for a little bit. Is that something that you ever thought about? This is just like a personal question for me, like, you know.
Yeah, I feel like I do some post-punk stuff, but
Will
like
we hear some of this like in the and
yeah.
more like in the of the stuff that you're making, like the new album that you were talking
Well,
about?
yeah, there's kind of there's definitely 3 or 4 post-punk type songs. I've been listening to a band from Chicago called Deeper, but they're like a post-punk band that I saw. They came to the Black Cat in DC a few years back, and
Oh, is that place still open?
I don't know. I know they were struggling.
So many places closed.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm not sure. I hope they are.
I know. Yeah, I hope so too.
But so I was influenced a lot by the band Deeper from Chicago this past couple years during like the pandemic, and a few other bands that I kind of heard based off of listening to them on Spotify quite a bit,
Yeah.
and was influenced by a lot of modern post punk. So there's like 3 or 4 songs on the album, and then there's some other ones that are maybe more kind of Mac DeMarco influenced, or just
Yeah.
I don't know where they come from sometimes, but definitely influences. And then I also really like synthy stuff. Like I like, you know, kind of punky new wave synth indie music, indie rock music. And I have a few like demos that I've been working on that I might do something like that, where it's very synthy and kind of 80s dance pop influenced or whatever. But
So would you be open to having someone like taking the tunes that you did by someone, thinking about me or someone that's listening to us, taking some of like the music that you did and do something with it, like kind of like add some like nice bass lines or some beats?
absolutely. I would love to hear somebody take my song and add their pieces to it, and be like, hey, this is what I turned it into, or this is what I did to it, and just hear like what someone else's ear thought to add to it. Like that would be awesome. Or how to chop it up and turn it into something else. Love that.
For the people who are trying to record some like vocals and stuff, and I know that you do that big time, you know, like all your songs, like you don't have a track that's like instrumental, like you always have, you know, your vocals on the songs, right?
Yeah.
Do you have like any advice or recommendation, or even like, you know, like a microphone that you like, you know, something that's budget friendly for, you know, just if I want to record something in my house, you know, in my bedroom, for example?
I am absolutely on a budget with all this stuff.
Great.
Yeah, I think.
Tell me more.
Yeah, so like especially with microphones can get very expensive, like thousands and thousands of dollars. And I personally can't um, justify spending that much on a microphone, you know.
Yeah.
And studios, yeah, they can do it, but so, and also I have kind of a nasally mid-tone voice that I have trouble kind of reining in the mix. And I have three different types of mics. I have two condensers that are made by XBL and they're very inexpensive. And I have honestly a podcast mic. It's called a Blue Snowball, and I've had that for years. And out of the three mics, you'd think the condenser mics that are meant for voice and that kind of stuff would be what I go to, but I almost always record, and all the songs on this album were recorded with the Blue Snowball podcast mic, which is just like this little orb that sits on a tripod.
Wow,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, and for
Like
for
the
some,
most budget-friendly one is like your kind
it's
of
the
like,
most budget. Yeah, it's the most budget friendly one. It's like it used to be $99. I think now back when I first bought it, I think now it's like 40. I think it's $49 now. So it's like even way cheap. It's like half the price. But for some reason, the way that I mean, Blue is a good microphone company, so it doesn't surprise me. But this is like this isn't really meant for like studio singing vocals.
yeah.
But for some reason, for me, it grabs like my voice in a way that kind of makes it a little more edgy and like makes it cut through the mix. So I use it almost all the time. And I would just say to anyone that's like looking to buy gear but is on a budget, it doesn't have to be that expensive stuff. I'm sure that stuff works great. It'd be great to have it, but finding something that just kind of works with your voice and has good reviews, like that's what I did. So
Yeah, totally. This is great stuff, man.
thanks, man. You've
It's
always
like
been
really impressive, like for just one person just to do all this alone, like without using like samples or loops. You're pretty much recording every single sound that you want to hear, and what that creates is a very unique sound that's just like so unique to you.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, man. You've always been very supportive, and like I think part of that is because I was kind of an introvert, and growing up, and like I would just stay home on the weekends. And
Me too. I mean,
yeah,
I love music. I'm like slap in the middle introvert extrovert, but
yeah,
sometimes I just don't want to deal with people.
right, yeah. And so I would, rather than go to parties, I had different instruments, and I would play those and make my own band because I didn't really have the social skills to go out and meet people and do the band thing. And so yeah, I would just kind of like put two tape recorders together and try and create my own songs and stuff from like an early age. And that's just now it's kind of like almost like a factory. I kind of just know how to do it pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
so.
Awesome. Yeah, you get better at your craft. You've been at it, man. That's awesome. Do you have anything that you want to ask the audience or anything that you want to tell them?
I mean, I would love to hear your questions, about recording or creating your own music. If you have them, I would love to help anyone that, has a question. And then as far as, my music, if you like it, it's on Spotify or whatever, all the streaming services, Deezer, all that. So like, if you like it, please give me a follow and maybe a follow on Instagram, and you'll get updated with anything new.
All right, man. So that was awesome, Mike. I'm gonna put all the links here.
Thank you.
We'll play some of the songs for you guys right after we hang up on this call. Big shout out to Chris. Guys, if some of you don't know Chris, he's doing all this, putting all the work and effort just for the love of music and arts. Sometimes we don't have like a lot going on for us, and sometimes like things like might get tough and we look like, at things and like nothing is working out, but we still got the music, so that's all that matters, honestly. If that's what keeps us going, man, you know, Chris is absolutely a champion at that. And big shout out to Chris. Thank you for doing this, man. We got your back. We'll support you. We got this. Mike, you got the last word. You can say anything you want to these people.
If there's any way, you know, like I can help those aspiring artists to, you know, learn new ways of recording or putting their music out there, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you got music, I'd love to hear it. So please reach out to me, and I'll follow you, and you know.
I'll put my
Thank
Instagram
you.
handle here. It's okay for people to like send you messages and stuff if they feel like it.
Yes, I'd love to, you know, be there. And thanks, Chris, for this opportunity. And you know, if you're not already, I'm sure you are. Follow Railway Station.
Man. I want to see that guitar before we go. Can you just bring it closer to the camera?
This one? Oh yeah, this is probably the most expensive thing of that I own.
Beautiful.
It's a Gibson SV from like 1970, but I used to have one as a kid. I like mowed lawns to get, and then I like traded it.
You sold it. Is that the one that you sold, or you sold something similar, and then you were like,
Yes.
"Oh no!"
Yes. I had this guitar, and I met this guy that played guitar, and I thought he was like so cool, and he like traded me for this generic guitar.
Shitty guitar, but
Yeah, and I was just so enamored, like,
or something.
yeah, I was like, this guy's an awesome guitar player. He's talking to me. It was like a back trunk deal, and he was like, and I just like, all my friends were like, yeah, they're like, give it to him, trade him, he's cool. But I eventually was able to find a guitar just like it, and so it's basically, this is what I use on every song, and it just sounds great, so I use it for every song.
Yeah, I love the handle that they have at the bottom too.
Yeah, it's like a Robbie Krieger of the Doors kind of guitar.
So like vintage.
So, yeah, I love it. So I don't know.
We had a guitar. My friend Bilal, he used to play with me. He played with me on a few bands. Bilal Badra. Some people might know him. He had a Gibson, man, and the sound of it was just different. And we had a Ibanez, we had a Gibson, we had a not me, you know, the people that played with me.
Yeah.
But I this was my favorite sound.
Yeah.
That he had. Yeah, I'm sure this. I mean, I've heard this one. It sounds.
Oh yeah, that's what we used to play in the Free Radicals.
Yeah, the Free Radicals. That was the last band that we played. Mike and we called it the Free Radicals. We used to work for this company. I used to work with them, and it was like all about like health and supplements and stuff. And we called it Free Radicals. It was kind of like a pun intended.
Yeah.
Name. It was fun. Awesome, Mike. Thank you so much for this. This is the first interview that we ever did here at Railway. And people, if you like it, let me know. If you want to learn about more artists, let me know. If you want to be, if you want to talk to the audience, let me know. We'll make something happen. And if you hated it, let me know. We take feedback very well. Don't hate Mike, he's awesome. Follow him. Support him, support indie artists in Lebanon, in the US, in Syria, Palestine, whatever, Germany, anywhere, man. Just support indie artists. Really, we need more of the music. Thank you guys so much. Thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you, Eli. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Lebanon.
All right. Peace.
See you, man.